You're right, game development YouTube is dying. But why is that and how can we even change that? Well, to be honest, there is no easy answer. But there might be a couple reasons as to why. Well, the first and most obvious reason is probably because game development YouTube isn't what it's used to be. Well, obviously, with the rise of modern game development YouTube, for example, channels like Danny or other ones, there has been a huge change in the community. I mean, the videos need to be fast enough so your goldfish brain can keep up with the information and not get bored every 2 seconds, right? But let's take a deep dive. For the past months, there has been a content tsunami. With the explosion of interest in game development, YouTube has become a sea of tutorials, let's plays, and reviews. It's not that the quality has dropped, there's just so much more content that smaller channels often get lost in a shuffle. I mean, it's gotten to a point where game development YouTube has videos about that you shouldn't do devlogs, that you shouldn't post what you're doing because you won't get any views at all, right? But the problem is not game development or YouTube itself. The problem is that YouTube promotes videos that aren't original anymore. A lot of the videos that you're watching that game developers make are mostly copied. And I'm not saying all of them are copied, but there has been so much redundancy that game development YouTube has become boring and not what it's supposed to be. I mean, if you look at older devlogs, they're not as bad as the modern ones. I mean, they have a slower type of editing, they have a slower type of pace, but they're interesting. And there's just one reason why, because they're original. I mean, in the end, game development YouTube is killing itself by doing the thing that it's not supposed to be, and that is being unoriginal. Game development is all about creating unique games that are original and fun to play, and I think if you don't portray that in your videos, the videos won't get any views because everybody has seen some type of that variation of game already. But that does not mean you shouldn't adapt to what is happening to YouTube right now. I mean, the community has shifted a bit. With the rise of other platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, the game development community is spreading out, and YouTube comment sections aren't as active as they once were. But this change has not only applied to YouTube itself. Game development is part of this, because a lot of game developers nowadays focus on quantity over quality, and that's been a huge problem. There have been so many templates and asset flips that you can't see what is a real game made by a person and what is an asset flip. I mean, quality matters, and viewers and players are becoming more and more about critique and not enjoying the game itself, but criticizing what you're doing. But this doesn't mean you shouldn't adapt. The short attention span is obviously something you should include in your videos. I mean, you should have a faster editing style than 2 years ago, and you should improve on your old videos. YouTube's algorithm is constantly changing, and what worked yesterday might not work today, so if your content isn't aligning with the algorithm's current preferences, it's tough to get noticed. Still, feedback is always great, and you should take everything with a grain of salt. I mean, you're creating a game and you're in your own bubble, but that's another topic. But in the end, this does not only apply to game development and YouTube itself, but it also applies to life, because there are so many copycats out there. So be unique and have a great day. And if you want, you can subscribe. That's all, and see you in the next episode.